Okay, we're now joined by Coach Bill Self. We'll have him open with a statement and open to questions to the media here gathered.
Well, I know I am, and I know our team is as well. Thrilled to be in the tournament, thrilled to be in Salt Lake City. The weather's been better than perfect, and hopefully our play will match what the weather's been. But we know we got a tough draw, but certainly looking forward to it and playing a very good team tomorrow.
Okay, we'll open with questions right here, please.
Hey, Bill. Two things, I guess. One is did you have to work with team morale at all after the loss of Kevin? Did you feel like the guys might sag a little bit, or how's that been?
I don't know that we've done anything much since necessarily the loss, but we did do quite a few things as a group. Not quite a few. We did some things as a group since the Big 12 tournament, which I think has been very good for us. And we rented out a theater, watched movies, done several motivational type things and things like that, and been trying to dwell on what we have accomplished as opposed to what we were in the last 10 days, because the last 10 days we haven't been very good.
Specifically with Kevin too, though, had the guys really come to expect he'd be back, and is that something you've had to work through with them a little bit?
I actually think that it's been a strange deal, Vahe, because we've known for 6 weeks what the deal is. I mean, and some days it's good, and some days it's not good. He's good enough to go get 19 in a game against good competition, and then not be able to go for 2 games later. So I really felt like, and I think that he did too. He tried, but I think he felt like, and I did too, hey, 9 days off was just something that we didn't have the luxury to do, would put him in position to be ready to go by Monday this past week, and it just didn't work out. He tried, just couldn't get there.
The only other thing for me for now is just, do you remember what it's like to be where Bucky is now, 4 seasons in, and at your first NCAA tournament,
Yeah.
and just what it's like to be a coach in his position?
Well, when I was getting started, we lost 18 games in a row, so we didn't get an at-large bid that year. So the thing that he has done, and I don't know him personally, but the thing that he has done in a short amount of time is remarkable. Great roster, got depth. Trust his roster because he plays everybody, 10 plus minutes, or I think he plays 10 plus, and 2 more, 7 and 9. The style is fun style. There's pressure all the time. It's a style that you don't have to play perfect, but you have to play athletic and quick to create havoc and force teams to make plays maybe at a pace that they're not as accustomed to making plays to. So what are they, 29-5, something like that, and win both the league and the tournament. And I think he's done a fabulous job. And I also think he plays a way that will warrant continuing to get good players because people want to play like that. But he's in a far better place than I was early in my career.
Sorry about that, Coach. Back at the back.
Bill, we've gone against full court pressure, transition, a lot of three-pointers, forcing turnovers. Talk about how they look different or similar to what you faced in that full court pressure, and using the extra timeout, perhaps minutes. Does that help you? And what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it needs to help us. It needs to help, especially playing in a little bit altitude. It's not like playing in Laramie, I don't believe, but I mean, there's obviously some altitude here, and we'll play 8 guys, and they'll play 12 or whatnot. So yeah, sure, that'll be a factor. But I don't remember ever playing against anybody that presses after misses, that presses on missed free throws, that press on missed field goals. They're going to get after us, and they mix it up. So sometimes it could just be man, sometimes it could be run and jump, sometimes it could be a 2-2-1, sometimes it could be a lot of different things. But what it forces you to do is players make plays as opposed to players run offense. in a lot of ways. And so a lot of the things that you do, well, we're going to run this play and we're going to get the ball here. Well, a lot of times you won't even get your players in position to get to that play until there's 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Then it's too late to run the play. So they make you go make plays. And so I think it is different than anything that I've ever gone against. I think it's actually more aggressive.
And their 6'9" kid, Achor, he's a three-point shooter, shot blocker. He does a
He's
little
good.
bit of everything.
Yeah, he's good. You know, and the stats are misleading with them. He's scoring over 16 a game, but he's playing 22 minutes. You know, if he's playing 32 minutes a game, you know, he's getting 22, 23 a game. So yeah, he's a load. He's a load. They've got really good personnel.
Bill, I'm curious, Long Beach State is here and Dan Monson is here as well, and obviously that's such a unique story. Kind of curious what you think of that situation overall and kind of whether you believe there's a right way and a wrong way for a coach to be fired in this day and age.
I will say this. I'm so happy for Dan, but I'm not near as happy for him as some, because when I was at Tulsa my first year, he had us down 34-8 at halftime when he was at Gonzaga. So I've held that, I've harbored that feeling for my entire career. So, but Dan, you know, obviously was at Minnesota when we were at Illinois. So yeah, we've known him for a long time. And you know, I read his quotes. I thought absolutely on point and classy and everything he said. And he's been there a long time. I know that administrations are forced to make hard decisions. They've been made all across America already this year. And some of them don't seem right, you know, from the outside looking in, but we're not on the inside, so we don't know what's right or not. But, you know, there's not too many guys that can go out the way that they would dream they could go out, and Dan gets to do that. So I think we should all be happy for him on that.
Back in the back.
Hey, Bill, Brendan Quinn from The Athletic. I know you said that Hunter looks okay and all that stuff, but like, is there anything that he's in any way limited to, or
No.
situations you're not trying to put him in or anything like that?
No limitations. The question we had initially was if he tried to go up and, you know, dunk the ball hard and hang on with one arm, something like that. But there's been no limitations. That doesn't mean he can't get a stung and come right back. But he's done really well so far.
So you were asked about Bucky's style and specific to the press. Like, you know, obviously there's been some coaches that lean really hard into it, but it's not been something that is, you know, kind of far spread. And I just wonder what you think it takes to kind of lean into an outlier system as a head coach.
I think sometimes as a coach, now this is me, so I can't speak for Bucky. I think sometimes from a philosophical standpoint, we look at it, well, okay, what do we have to do? Okay, we can't give up layups. We can't give up second shot opportunities. You know, those are things that from my philosophical standpoint, I would say, you know, let's try to stay between our man and the basket more. From his philosophical standpoint, we'll create more havoc than we give up. And so, like with me, if I was pressing, we'd be terrible at it all the time. Because if a team, you know, same thing, we go zone, they make a three, what do? You're mad, you get out of the zone. You know, if team shoots a layup against the press, what do? You're mad, you get out of the press. He's like, no, let's just keep rolling with it, because over a course of time, it prevails. And I think that's what, you know, he has a strong commitment to that, which I think it's hard for a lot of coaches to do.
Matthew Coles, Associated Press. With this season, especially the tail end with the losses and the injuries, what's been most challenging about it for you?
I would say really probably not knowing day to day what your hand is. You know, you go into a practice and you say, we're going to practice this way with these guys, and that may not even be the team that you start the next day. So you know, that's been, but hey, injuries are part of it, and you know, maybe we should have you know, been a little deeper, so that maybe we could overcome some of those things better. But that's part of it. And to the point earlier that I think Dave made, the NCAA tournament is good for a team like us. you get the extra timeout in the first half, you get longer timeouts. There's more time. So that way, if you're going to play 5, 6, 7 guys, there's actually an opportunity that they can get more rest than they could during the course of a regular season game.
Bill, with alluding to that, but in general, with losing 4 or 5 at the end and Kevin's injury and the thin bench, do you have to mentally prepare the team a little differently going into this tournament than maybe you can remember? I mean, it's a different kind of feel, isn't it?
It is. I think that with when you feel you're more talented, you go into it believing that you can score enough. And sometimes when you take out the offensive firepower or whatever, now I think it's okay that your mindset kind of changes, saying, well, if the other team can't score, we can't lose. Whereas before, we're going to be fine if the other team scores. So I think there's kind of a mindset, like, what is our personality going into this situation? And I know what I want it to be, and I know what we stressed, and I believe it's going to be that. But certainly, you don't have that. You can run crap offense and get it to a guy, and he can make a hard shot. You don't have that as much. You better run pretty good offense the entire time.
How do you feel about the state of mind of the guys, when they've been going through this sort of tough streak, basically, that you haven't many times come into the NCAA tournament with?
No, we haven't very many times at all. I kind of like it. Be honest with you, I think even though people will equate Kansas and seed and all this stuff as, well, you positively should still do well, I equate it to, this is one of the first times I've been in a tournament where we should be the one with the chip on our shoulders. So I think that'll be good for us.
Okay, time for a couple more. We'll go right in the back here.
Bill, Nick said when you guys had your team bonding sort of thing the other day that you watched a movie called Boys in the Boat. I'm just curious why you chose that movie.
I've got a buddy that is the sports psychologist for the Cowboys and the Yankees, and I think that he knows far better than me what to watch. And it was that or Barbie, and I went with Boys in the Boat. Boys in the Boat. No, he told me it was good, and in all honesty, it's pretty good. It's kids that have been dealt a hard hand and rallying out of that. I'd recommend it to anybody to watch it. So.
All right, we'll check the Zoom participants here. We have 3 on the Zoom call. If you have any questions for Coach Self, please use the raise hand button here on your Zoom. All right, seeing none, do we have any more questions for Coach here in the room? All right, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.